Good evening, San Diego. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis, and thank you for tuning in for your CBS 8 Plus weather update. Well, what a way to wrap up September. Lots of sunshine out there in the forecast, pretty mild with our temperatures, and, well, you probably felt it, that breeze that was going. So we have a westerly breeze that's picking up, area of low pressure sweeping by well towards the north of us, ushering in this change. But high pressure over the next couple of days, that has a little bit of a bump in the road when it does come to some cooler temperatures. And then we see low pressure taking over as we go into the weekend. But this was the view from our Mount Soledad cam this evening, wrapping up September and saying hello to October by tomorrow. Our sunset is at 6:34. When we look at those overnight lows, widespread 50s instead of those 60s that we've had recently. So a lot more of those 50s starting to pop up. You're seeing widespread 50s. Now still holding on to 60s dominating right along the coast. You also have the 50s across inland valleys and extending into the mountains. 48 degrees is expected though. That's going to be for Mount Laguna, 48 for Campo, 66 degrees for Borrego Springs. You have 62 for downtown and 59 degrees for Miramar as well as for La Mesa. When you get into daytime highs for tomorrow, area of high pressure, rather weak one's going to try to nudge in from the south. As a result, it has our temperatures into the 80s. We're looking at those widespread 80s east of the 15. That'll be across the inland valleys. You have 80 degrees tomorrow for Valley Center, 81 degrees for Mona as well as for Escondido. Those 70s right there along the coastline and 70s for the mountains. 94 degrees for Borrego Springs, the desert holding on to a couple more days when it does come to some 90s before cooler temperatures go right back into those 80s. When we look at what's in effect, so this started over the weekend. We had that elevated surf that was from Narda that was moving towards the south of us, has officially dissipated, but still dealing with that surf all the way into about 11 p.m. for tonight. So the beach hazard statement will continue. Extending into Orange County, that's where those sets are up to about 7 feet. You're talking about the surf about 3 to 6 feet for San Diego County, and still the strong rip currents that have been present along our coastline. Things change as we go into the middle of the week. That's going to allow that surf to subside, getting back to that range of about 2 to 4 feet. So there's that area of low pressure ushering that breeze for today, but no scattered showers for us. It's mainly confined for Northern California, and you're seeing it across the Pacific Northwest. But as mentioned, we're going to focus on this weak ridge of high pressure. That's going to be building in from the south. It becomes a little bit more amplified because of that low pressure system sweeping by to the north. There's another one just towards the east of it, so it has nowhere to go but up. It allows that ridge to become a little bit more amplified, but it's not a strong one. It just brings those 80s that you saw for daytime highs. That will be for the inland valleys by tomorrow and for a couple of days before we get to widespread 70s in the forecast from another area of low pressure. So through about Thursday, pretty quiet overall. You're going to see a less extensive marine layer, so that makes things a little bit more patchy in the form of cloud cover in the early morning hours, and then seeing that afternoon sunshine to follow. So that takes us all the way until about Thursday. Then that ridge of high pressure moves out. Another disturbance moves in, creating more of a dip in the jet stream. As a result, that ushers in some even cooler air. So after that weak ridge, we resume with the cooling, and that takes us into the first weekend of October. Daytime highs for the inland valleys will be peaking about 10 to 15 degrees below seasonal. So this brings back widespread 70s in the forecast, and extending into the mountains, you're also talking about some 60s picking up for daytime highs. So when we look at your extended forecast, you have the low 70s, but they go a little bit lower. That's going to be for the coast. As you have 74 degrees for tomorrow, you're back into the range of about 72. That's on Friday as well as Saturday. And you have 70 degrees from Sunday all the way into Tuesday of next week. We're still holding on to 80s for the next couple of days for daytime highs for the inland valleys. You got the low 80s. That's still actually a little below seasonal for this time of the year, getting away from those mid to upper 80s, which is more typical. And then you're talking about those 70s returning. So 78 degrees, that will be the high by Friday, 76 degrees by Sunday, and we take those 70s into the first half of next week. When we look across the mountains, you have 70s going strong for daytime highs, mid to upper 70s next couple of days with that weak ridge, and then back into those low 70s starting on Friday. Upper 60s also returning to the forecast with a few more clouds added in. That will be by Monday, and 70s resuming by Tuesday. You have the 90s for the inland valleys over the next couple of afternoons, but hey, if you wanted a break from that for the desert, well, you get those 80s. They're back in the forecast starting on Friday and take that all the way into Tuesday of next week. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're having a great night.